So today, let's dive into a story that really makes you rethink how love can begin. This isn't your typical romance, no chance encounters or love at first sight. Nope. This is a quiet journey that starts out of pure necessity, but ends with a connection that becomes more real than you can imagine. And this is where it all starts, with this one simple, incredibly powerful sentence that just lays it all out there. A life defined by loneliness. And that feeling, it's going to shape every single decision that comes next. So let's meet Isabella. She's a young painter just trying to make her way in the world. But her world is really small. Her struggles are huge. And the toughest part? She is navigating all of it completely, totally on her own. Her day-to-day reality is just stark. Her talking a single room, eating the simplest food like rice and soup. And a lot of the time, she's even skipping meals just to save every last dollar. And with no family, no support system at all, this isn't just a rough patch. This is her life. But then, into this really isolated life, walks Edward, an older man. Now, he doesn't show up with some grand gesture. Instead, he starts offering these small, consistent kindnesses. And here's the key part. He asks for absolutely nothing in return. And his approach is so gentle, so methodical. It starts with just a smile. That's it. Then it becomes a warm cup of tea. Pretty soon, he's bringing her bread and some flowers he grew in his garden. Each little gesture is completely non-threatening, and it slowly, carefully builds this foundation of trust before he finally reveals what he's really thinking. And that last step, the letter, well, that changes everything. Inside, he offers to pay her rent, to help with food, even help her find work. He's basically offering to solve all of her problems. But there's a catch. He wants to marry her. And this right here, this is the core of it all. For Isabella, this isn't a simple question. Is this an act of love, or is it a transaction? Is he offering a lifeline, or is he building a cage? The weight of that decision is just immense. She has to figure out what she truly needs to survive. And you know what? She says yes. And just like that, a whole new chapter begins. A marriage born not from passion, but from pure pragmatism. Their wedding is quiet, their new life starts quietly, and her future is just one big question mark. Their beginning was, well, anything but conventional. The guests, just 5 of his friends, none of hers. Her vow wasn't some promise of undying love. It was a simple, brutally honest, I will try. And there was no party, no celebration. It was crystal clear. This was a practical arrangement, plain and simple. Now you can only imagine the fears Isabella must have had walking into this. She was probably terrified of being trapped, of losing what little freedom she had. But what she actually found was the complete opposite. He was respectful. The house was a safe, quiet home. And maybe most important of all, he gave her the gift of space. Okay, so this is where the story really pivots. It's not about the arrangement anymore. It's about the slow, quiet transformation of their relationship. A relationship that's being nurtured by these daily routines of respect and, well, just companionship. And these small things, these were the seeds of their connection. Sharing meals, him giving her books to read, just simple conversations about the garden. Crucially, he never pried into her past, never put any expectations on her. And in that space, free of any demands, an actual emotional bond just started to grow. She finally stopped feeling like a guest and started to feel truly safe. So when the town gossips started whispering that she'd only married him for his money, Edward's response was just powerful. He didn't just brush off the rumors. He looked right at her and affirmed her worth. He was protecting her, showing her that her value had nothing to do with what other people thought. And all of this quiet, steady kindness, it all leads to the climax of the story. The arrangement starts to blossom into something neither of them ever planned on, a genuine partnership, a place where she doesn't just find love, she finds her own strength. And this is it. This is the turning point, her declaration. It's so powerful because it's so honest. She owns why she entered the marriage, but she completely reclaims her own story by saying she now stays out of desire, not duty. Her feelings have totally, completely transformed.
Right after she says this, that's when their first kiss happens. And the timing here is so important. It wasn't part of the deal. It wasn't transactional. It was soft, it was warm, and it was born purely from a real shared feeling.
This just highlights how private and personal what they built really was. The whole world could whisper and guess all they wanted, but the truth of their love? That belonged to only two people. It didn't need anyone else's approval. And this newfound strength, this is the real result of their love. When she hears the same gossip as before, she doesn't feel that shame anymore. She doesn't have to argue or defend herself. She just stands tall, completely secure in who she is and in the knowledge that she is loved. And so this story leaves us with this final thoughts, this really provocative question. It asks us to think about what actually makes a relationship real. Is it possible that a partnership that begins out of need and grows through kindness can become even stronger, even more real than one that just starts with romance? It's definitely something to think about.